Ready for medical career growth? Yes, you are in the right place. Hello, this is Dr. Neema Bish, BDS by degree and a pharma professional. As a founder of Career in Pharma, our mission is to guide medical professionals towards remarkable success in the pharma industry. With a track record of over 700 plus students trained and placed into various premier pharma companies, we are here to elevate your journey.
Hello everyone, once again I welcome you all to Career in Pharma. Now in today's video we are going to understand what are aggregate reports, why there is a need of aggregate reports when we are already submitting the individual case safety reports to regulatory authority body. What is the importance of these aggregate reports, what are different kind of aggregate reports, and what is the frequency of submission of these aggregate reports, the frequency, the interval at which we have to submit it to the regulatory authorities. Yes, so we'll understand all these topics in today's video. Yes, so let's begin. And please remember, again, this is one of the important interview question when you are going to give interview for pharmacovigilance profile. Although aggregate report is not something which any company is expecting from you at a fresher level, because irrespective of whatever is your qualification, whatever is your experience till date, when you are going to give interview for any fresher role inside pharmacovigilance, be it medical reviewer, drug safety physician, be it safety associate, pharmacovigilance officer, whatever pharmacovigilance fresher role you are going to give interview, aggregate report will not be asked to you in much detail, because that is something they expect from experienced candidate. At a fresher level, ICSR is more important for you to know, but yes, it always better to know more whenever you are going to give interview, because depending on the interviewer they may ask you the basic things on aggregate as well. Yeah, so let's begin. Now, aggregate reports refers to those reports that don't focus so much on the individual report like we do in individual case safety reporting. Yes, but rather it will give you, it focuses on multiple reports and it focuses on an overview. It gives you assessment of the safety profile and benefit risk evaluation. Now, aggregate reports are like very important tool in the safety evaluation throughout the life cycle of any medicine. Yes, but individual case safety report, they provide information on adverse event associated with any drug for any individual patient. Okay, so ICSR giving you information for an individual patient. However, aggregate is an analysis of cumulative safety information reported worldwide, and it is necessary not only to understand the safety profile but also to monitor the benefit risk profile of any drug, and which can be done on the multiple reports. So based on the periodic analysis of these aggregate reports worldwide, product label is updated to optimize safe use of the medicinal product. Yes, so this is why we need aggregate reports, which gives us a cumulative analysis. So it is something like, which I already mentioned in the last video also, something like you go for random blood sugar versus you go for HbA1c test, right? So random blood sugar going to give you immediate profile of sugar in the blood for a short duration, but HbA1c going to give you the profile of sugar in blood for 3 months, 6 months duration. So that is the difference between ICSR and aggregate also. Now there are different type of aggregate reports, and we divide it based on their pre-authorization and post-authorization of the medicine. Means whenever any medicine is in clinical trial phase, then there is a separate aggregate report, and when the drug finishes the clinical trial and when the medicine is in market, then there are different aggregate reports. So based on that, we call it as pre-authorization and post-authorization reports. So in pre-authorization report, we have DSUR, that is Development Safety Update Report. DSUR, Development Safety Update Report. As the name is mentioning, anything which is under development regarding that report. So DSUR is that report which we are taking, collecting, submitting during the clinical trial. Now post authorization aggregate reports are PSUR. I will tell you full form. First let me tell you what are they. PSUR, PEBRR and PEDR. Okay. Now PSUR means periodic safety update report. PEBRR, which is PBRER, is periodic benefit risk evaluation report. And last is PEDR. PEDR is periodic adverse drug experience report. Yes. So broadly let me tell you, PSUR, PEBRR, all this are in use in European Union. But PEDR is for US. That is the major difference. Other than this, other difference also I am going to tell you once I explain what are they. Yes, so let's start with PEDR. Now PEDR, which is the full form is periodic adverse drug experience report. This PEDR are the aggregate reports to use in US only. Please remember, US only, the United States only. So PEDR are the aggregate reports to be submitted to FDA. So in US it means to FDA. The drug regulatory authority body of US is FDA, that is Food and Drug Administration. Yes. So these reports to be submitted to FDA for the product's approval for marketing in the US. So PEDR submission starts once marketing authorization approval is received. Yes, means once the company is ready to market the drug after the finish of clinical trial. Yes. Now how frequently we have to submit PEDR? Quarterly and annual PEDR should be submitted. Quarterly and then annual should be submitted within 30 and 60 days of data log point respectively. Okay, so PEDR, what PEDR involves mainly? It mainly involves the presentation of case reports with serious and unlisted event. Serious and unlisted event in the form of narratives or in a tabular format. So these are PEDRs, and if anyone asks you what is the frequency of submission, you can say quarterly for the first year, and after that annually after that annually after every year. Yes, so that is the frequency of submission of PEDR. Yes, and you have to tell within 30 and 60 days of data log point respectively. Okay, when we are submitting in quarterly, then we will be doing it within 30 days of data log point. When we are doing it annually, next year, after next year, then it should be done 60 days of data log point, within 60 days of data log point. So this is about PEDR, which is in use in US only. Other report is PSUR, that is periodic safety update report. Now this is in European countries. Okay, so PSUR is a pharmacovigilance document which is intended to provide an update on the worldwide safety experience of the medicinal product to the regulatory authorities at defined times post authorization. So what is the purpose of PSUR? Like the purpose of aggregate, same will be the purpose of PSUR also. Okay, so the main purpose of PSUR is to identify the new or emerging safety information as a means to determine changes in the benefit risk profile of any authorized drug. Yes. Now, how often periodic safety update report is submitted? So frequency of submission is different for different countries. Okay. In India also we are submitting PSUR. Yes. Now in India, every 6 months. What is the frequency of submission? Every 6 months for the first 2 years. Means when the drug is in market after successful clinical trial, then for the first 2 years, this PSUR reports need to be submitted every 6 months. And after that, annually for next 2 years. That is in India. Okay. Now in Europe, what we do, every 6 months, we have to submit it every 6 months for the first 2 years, then annually for the next 2 years, and then 3 yearly thereafter. Yes. Now PSUR is not in use in US. Yes. But like I said, the comparable means the report which is like PSUR in US is PEDR, which I already told you. PEDR we are submitting quarterly for 3 years and annually thereafter. Okay, so that is the frequency of submission. Now there is another report which is known as PBRR. PBRR means Periodic Benefit Risk Evaluation Report. Now Periodic Benefit Risk Evaluation Report is an analysis of safety and efficacy and efficiency of a drug once it is already in the market. Okay, so it means submitting safety information. After some time I will tell you the difference between the PBRR and PEDR also, which is one of the important interview question. Now what is the importance of objective of PBRR? So the objective of PBRR is to evaluate whether information obtained during the reporting interval is in accordance with previous knowledge on the product's benefit and risk profile, and to indicate whether changes should be made to the reference product information. So this is PBRR. Now the last one is which we need during pre-authorization phase, means during clinical trial, is DSUR. So DSUR is the Development Safety Update Report, which is an aggregate report which we submit during clinical trial, that is pre-authorization phase. Now during clinical development of any medicine, the Development Safety Update reports needs to be submitted as the Investigational New Drug Annual Reports in the US and Annual Safety Report in European Union. Okay, means the DSUR is in the form of annual reports in US and annual safety reports in European Union that we need to submit to regulatory agencies. So DSUR is like a pre-marketing equivalent of all the post-marketing aggregate reports. Like you can say DSUR is equivalent to like PSUR, PBRR or PEDR. The only difference is DSUR we are submitting during clinical trial in the development phase. Other PSUR, PBRR, PEDR we are submitting in post-authorization phase. That is the only difference. Now what is the purpose of DSUR? Now DSUR proposed in this guidance is intended to be a common standard for periodic reporting of drugs under development. So wherever any drug is in under development, at that time we are submitting this DSUR. Now what is the frequency of submission of DSUR? So DSUR we have to submit annually and require submission till the time the trial ends. Means let's say if any trial is there which is taking let's say 5 years. Okay, so for the first year we will submit it annually. After that it requires submission after that also till the trial ends. Yes, in US for marketed products, if IND is still open, okay, if any product is already in the market and its IND is still open, then annual safety report, that is DSUR, will be required by FDA. And to some extent DSUR can be considered as a subset of PBRR with focus on ongoing clinical trials. Okay, now I am going to tell you the difference between PEDR and PBRR, which can be one of the very important interview question. Not necessary they might ask you directly what is PEDR, PBRR, they may ask you difference. So with in relation to interview, what is important from this whole conversation is, first of all you should be knowing the full form of DSUR, PSUR, PBRR, PEDR for sure. Other thing you should be knowing is when we are submitting DSUR, that is pre-authorization phase, and when we are submitting others, that is post-authorization phase. And then what is the frequency of submission of these all different reports? Yes, that is one of the important questions. Okay, they are not going to dig into deeper level at a fresher level for aggregate reports, but at least you should be knowing this much. Now we are going to talk about the difference between PEDR and PBRR. Okay, now PEDR and PBRR, first difference is their full form. Then PEDR consists of individual case narratives for cases who have fatal outcomes or fatal outcomes, unlisted event and events of special interest only we report in PEDR. But in PBRR it consists of detailed analysis of benefit risk evaluation of any given product. Okay, it's not that only fatal, all whatever data is there regarding any medicinal product, that we are submitting in PBRR. Now PEDR, the guideline which we are using is PEDR we prepared as per US 21 CFR 314.80 and it's submitted to US FDA. So PEDR is in use in US. We are submitting it to US FDA, that is the Drug Regulatory Authority body of US, and we are preparing as per 21 CFR 314.80. That can be an important interview question. Now, which guideline do we use to prepare PEBRAR? PEBRAR is prepared as per ICH E2C R2 and EMA Module 7 guideline. Okay, EMA Module 7 guideline. See, Module 6 you already know is for ICSR. Module 7 is to generate PEBRAR. Okay, and this we are submitting to European Union and rest of the world. So US FDA, PEBRAR, European Union and rest of the world. Yes. Other important differences, frequency of submission. So the frequency of submission for PEDR is, please remember, for PEDR the frequency of submission is quarterly for the first 3 years followed by annually. However, PEBRAR for newly approved products, PEBRAR are submitted 6 months for the first 2 years followed by annually. Yes. And in PEDR, quarterly and annual PEDRs are submitted within how many calendar days of data log point, which is important. Quarterly within 30 days and annual within 60 calendar days of data log point. But PEBRAR, annual or multi-year PEBRARs are submitted within 70 or 90 calendar days of data log point. So these are the important points for the difference. PEDR, which country, PEBRAR where, PEDR which guideline we follow, PEBRAR which we are following, I discussed. For PEDR we are following 21 CFR 314.80 and we are submitting it to US FDA. PEBRAR we are submitting it to EMA, okay, that is the European Union and rest of the world, and PEBRAR we are preparing as per module 7 of GVP. Yes, and frequency of submission, which is again important interview question. So I hope from this conversation you got the clarity what are aggregate reports. Moreover, why we are doing it, that is very important, because interviewer may ask you, we are already submitting ICR on a daily basis, ICSR, then why we are doing aggregate? So you have to tell aggregate give us more detailed picture, and it is very helpful for analysis, not just for safety profile. It also helps in knowing the benefit risk ratio of any medicine, right? It gives an overall profile. It's give a vast analysis. Okay, then what are the different kind of aggregate reports, their full form, their frequency of submission, and difference between PEDR and PEBRAR. Yes, so that is all about aggregate reports, different kind of aggregate reports, their full form, their frequency of submission, and difference between PEDR and PEBRAR. Yes, so that's all for this aggregate reports. I hope you got the clarity on this, and I hope there is no more confusion. But still, if any confusion is there, please feel free to comment below in the comment section, and I would love to read all the comments, and I would love to reply each and every comment from you. Yes, and also provide suggestion on which topic you want video from us. Yes, that's all about aggregate reports. Now till the time I come again, till that time please stay safe, aware, healthy, updated, and keep exploring new thing. And where you are going, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, don't forget to hit a like button, and don't forget to share it with your friends so that they can also clear the interview. Have a nice day. Bye bye.